Welcome guys back to the channel. It's RZ back here with another storytime video. It's been a little minute since we did one of these and I'm very excited to do this. So yeah, if you did enjoy this one, please hit that like button and subscribe if you're new. Yeah, let's pretty much just get into it. So it all started. It all started whenever I moved into this new house which I'm currently in, and I mean, it's not the best neighborhood, pretty much, I'd like to say. It's not horrible, but it's not good. So just keep that in mind. We moved in. It's been about a few days. We're chilling. So our neighbors are very like friendly, if you'd say, some of them, and the little boy that they had would come over and play with my little brothers all the time. And, it was just a normal thing. Um, but yeah, so we ended up just doing a bunch of things that, like one time he brought a weapon to our house and stuff. It was a whole lot of stuff. But that's not what we're going to talk about. Today we're going to be talking about what his older cousins and sisters and brothers did. Yeah, so pretty much what they did was one day, I unadded these girls on Snapchat because they got really annoying. They started texting me every 5 minutes, and like, honestly, I wasn't trying to deal with that because, like, they were starting to get annoying, and I just couldn't take it anymore. And whenever I unadded them that night, I heard some knocking on my window, and it was really late. So I just didn't even look outside because, like, it was late, and I didn't really want to have to deal with somebody, knocking at my window. It wasn't even a knock. It was like a bang, but it wasn't like a shatter. It was like a bang, It didn't do nothing to the window. Well, the next morning goes by, and we have construction workers working on our house. Well, because, I mean, there's a hurricane and it hit Louisiana. So pretty much, our shingles flew off the roof. So we had people working on the shingles or whatever, and my mom saw something on the window and she thought it was sticky notes for some weird reason, which I don't know why she think the construction workers would put sticky notes on the windows, but yeah. So pretty much one of my dad's friends, which he's always around us, he went ahead and he pointed out, he's like, Bryce, okay, so there's a problem. And I'm like, he's like, your mom's not gonna like this. And I'm like, well, what's the problem? Like, why are you acting like this? Like, what is it? Just tell me. So pretty much he tells me, he's like, yo, you should just come have a look. So I went ahead and I walked outside. I was playing my game, I just got home from school. Not in the mood at all. So I look, and it's freaking cheese, mayonnaise, barbecue sauce from McDonald's. It was pretty much a whole Travis Scott burger on my window. And I was like, bro, what is this? Like, who would do this? So I started thinking, and as soon as I started to think, I'm like, wait, I know who it is. So I told, my dad's friend, I'm like, yo, I know who this is. And he's like, who? I'm like, it's the neighbors. Like, he's like, why? Why would they do this? I'm like, I unadded them on Snapchat. And they were all mad because I think two of the girls liked me or whatever. And yeah, I just unadded them because they were annoying. And there was food all over my window. And I was just so mad. So my mom told me, she's like, just clean it. We're not going to worry about it. This is the first time. So, we're not going to worry about it. Well, I cleaned it off. It was a pain to get off. It took about 30 minutes to get all that off. And half of the food was stuck on because, the cold, moisture, and it was really freezing that morning, and that night. So, like, if you left water out, it would freeze. Well, some of that liquid food, like the mayonnaise and stuff, it froze and stuck to the window. So I was stuck with having to wash that and scrub it out, which it was a pain. But yeah. So I cleaned that, throw it out in the bag, and don't worry about it. I'm still mad. Don't get me wrong. I was so mad. But yeah, pretty much just didn't worry about it because hopefully, I mean, they wouldn't do it again, right? I mean, I thought they wouldn't do it anyway. Until the next morning happened. So I wake up, and guess what I hear again at 3 o'clock in the morning? A bang on my window. See, I didn't think about it the other day whenever this happened, but at that night that I heard that bang on my window, that was then putting the food on in the morning. Because my mom woke up early in the morning and she thought it was just sticky notes because, you know, we had people working on the house. But yeah, next morning happens, and there's even more this time. I'm talking about a whole Subway sandwich this time. You know, a fully loaded Supreme Subway sandwich. And I'm talking about a 12-inch, foot long, not no half foot long. You know what I'm saying? It was lettuce, what was it? Mayo, barbecue sauce, cane sauce. If you don't know what cane sauce is, there's this really good joint in Louisiana. It's called Raising Cane's, and I think it's in a few other states too. But yeah, it was just all kind of stuff. I'm talking about ham, bologna, turkey. Like, it was literally different type of meats. And I was just so angry this time because this was the second time. So I was all mad. I called my dad, and this was late at night, actually. It wasn't the next morning. It was late at night, so they didn't do it that night. Yeah, I remember this. This was at night. I just got home from the races, which my dad is a horse jockey, if you guys didn't know that. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that, but my dad is a horse jockey. So we stay out pretty late. You know, we leave in the afternoon to go watch him race to support him. And we get back. My dad's tired. You know, he doesn't want to deal with anything. And he's like, he's smoking outside. He just got outside or whatever, sat down, had a cig. And I'm just checking the house to make sure nothing happened, because I was paranoid from the other night. And all that food was on my window again, and I'm like, yo, Dad, look, don't be mad, but there's stuff on my window again. And he's like, don't be mad, this is the second time, like, you know. And I can't blame him. I mean, I was furious, don't get me wrong. But yeah, so the lady, their mom, which wasn't even their mom, I think it's their aunt, was sitting outside. And my dad's like, hey, I need you to come over here. But with a lot of very bad words that I can't say on YouTube. So he's like, yo, I need you to come over here. Your stupid daughters or nieces, they did something to my son's window. But yeah, I'm pretty much wording this as best as I can without you know, saying anything that I'm not supposed to. So he gets the lady over here. She comes and she's like, oh no, this is crazy, like, I'm gonna go get them. Well, my mom calls. My mom's like, I'm done with this. This is BS. Like, we shouldn't have to deal with this. So she called the cops. My dad didn't want to call the cops, but he did want to resolve this, and my mom already did. So the cops showed up, and it was actually like the most chillest cop I've ever met who pulled up. Normally, you know, cops are kind of paranoid or like, you know, kind of jerk sometimes, because like it's late at night, and like, you know, sometimes for especially reasons like this, it was very dumb, so they don't want to put up with that. So he was really understanding about it, though. Luckily, we had a good guy come out, and he was like really chill. He actually reminded me of my dad, but my dad, like a white version of my dad, I guess. So yeah, he was really chill, and he came and he's like, yo, alright, you know, if you want to press charges, it's completely fine. Well, my dad's like, no, I don't want to do that, because I mean, they're kids just being idiots. So the lady finally comes up with the kids and who everybody did it, and they all came out legit with hoodies that were like draped over their head, and they you know, like whenever you got like the two ties with the hoodie and you tighten it on your face and look like an idiot, like just jokingly. These people, there was about 6 of them, all had hoodies like that, and they had them like completely tied off so you couldn't see their face. And I don't, like, one of them bumped into the side of the house, and like I was getting the hose ready because my dad was like, yo, go get the hose because they're gonna need it, because I'm not gonna make you clean this again. And I'm like, thank you. So yeah, the little kids started actually cleaning it, which there was a lot of them that did this. So yeah, they started cleaning, and the cops started questioning the older kids, because, you know, they were the main ones who got the kids to do this, and they did it too. They just didn't admit to it. They were like, yo, I was just there. That's a lie. I know you freaking did it. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. The cop pretty much, you know, she was being very disrespectful to the cop, which that's something you shouldn't do, especially to a cop. And even to her mom, like, I could never imagine being like disrespectful to my mom. Like, I'm talking about full on cursing her mom out, like, and she's probably 15. Like, I could never imagine doing that to my mom or my dad, especially not my dad or my mom. Could never do it. Like, they brought you to the world, you know? So, she was just dogging her mom and the cop, and then the cop's like, you know, I'm not gonna put up with this BS, because you should never disrespect your mom like this. And he put her in cuffs, like, no lie, put her in cuffs, and it's like, yo, get in the back of the car, because she kept on, like, nagging whenever she was in cuffs, because she knew the cop wasn't gonna do anything. But he brought her in cuffs and took her, like, for a spin around the block. And like, she finally was like, yo, let me go back, I didn't mean any of that stuff I said, like, please let me go back. So they brought him back, and she got out the car, he uncuffed her, and he asked my mom, you want to press charges? My mom was like, no. And then the girl kept on being disrespectful again, and then like, my mom's like, you know what, screw this, press charges. So he had to put her in cuffs again for a second time, and she finally shut up. And then her mom was like crying or whatever, and it was, I mean, I felt bad for her, like, for the mom, because you know she has to put up with her, and like, that's just a pain to have to put up with someone like that. But yeah, that's about it. And then after that, he uncuffed her, let her go, everybody cleaned, my window was perfectly fine. And you know, she finally got a little sense in her and started like taking in some of the information that my dad and the cop was trying to tell her, like, you know, somebody could have shot you, because like, our neighborhood is not the best, for one. Like, for two, like, that's just disrespectful. Like, that's not his house, you know, it's not my house. Just because I on that, just, he's like, just because my son unad you doesn't mean you should vandalize my house, because my house and me did nothing to you. And you know, I learned a few things at night. You know, even before I started like texting the girls, my dad even told me, like, straight up, like, you know, these girls are foolish, don't text them. And I didn't see that until I actually saw it that night. You know, I finally opened my eyes and I'm like, wow, that's kind of tough. My dad told me, like, not to mess with these people, and you know, I already did, and I made a big mistake. And I kind of learned from that night. I learned a lot from that night, actually. For one, you know, my dad always talks about things like, you know, he's always telling me stuff and to follow him and you'll always do right, you know. And I mean, I always kind of understood what he was saying, but that really opened my eyes to, like, you know, just kind of listen to what he says, you know, because he's not gonna try to lead me in a wrong direction. And I guess, what can you learn from this video that you just watched of me, like, running my mouth? You know, just follow your parents, because I know I have a lot of kid viewers, and I mean, I'm a kid still, but please follow your parents, listen to what they have to say, because they're not always just trying to be annoying to you. They're not always just trying to, like, take your stuff. They're not always trying to ground you. They're not always trying to be mean. They're trying to teach you a lesson sometimes. So that's my lesson from this video, and I hope you guys did enjoy. And please hit that like button and subscribe if you're new. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And if we have an update on this, I mean, you know, I'll tell you guys something. I guess if you guys want to hear more story times like this, just hit that like button, because it helps me know, like, you know, you want this. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I love you guys. See you in the next one. Peace out.
I found a zone, or orgy, fishy on me, a place to be. I know the place for the fishy on me.